Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing this fine evening? Oh. Today we took a walk in our new neighborhood and somebody came out of their house to ask if we were just visiting the neighborhood, because it's kind of a little snooty neighborhood, and I knew that we were the culprits of this. There's for the homeowners from the homeowners association. I got an email the other day saying that they noticed that people were walking around. People who didn't live in this area are walking around, and they should like do something about the people walking around in the neighborhood, because it's a kind of a gated community. And I just had a feeling that it was us. And it was. For the most part, though, people have been super fucking nice there. It's just the really old people, like the really old, exactly what you would assume. They're very, like, they poo-poo you. They poo-poo you as you walk around and assume that you're just taking advantage of their nice, brisk walk neighborhood. Who goes to just some other neighborhood to take a walk? The neighborhood's not that fucking great for a walk. But whatever. So Daniel's like, we live here. But the other people have been really cool. And I'm sure once we get moved in, Daniel will have a grand old time, because there's, eventually anyway, there's lots of young kids in the neighborhood that she can play with that aren't far from her house. I expected there to be a get off my lawn mentality when moving in there to some degree. It was one of my main worries, because I knew like 10, 15 years ago, that place was just all old people. And but a lot of like younger couples have moved in, and there's lots of kids running around. So, and as Denton pointed out, we are only $3,000 away from our goal, which was our final goal, 750, and we have almost 7 days left. At midnight, we'll have 7 days, 2 hours to 7 days. I really want to hit that before midnight. I want to hit it on this. We've got an hour. Let's somehow raise our pledges and or tell multiple people about the Kickstarter so we can actually get up to that point. Because if we do, I can show you the next unlock, which we didn't think was even going to happen. I worked on this unlock. I worked on this unlock on and off for a while, and just before this stream started, I decided I needed to finish it. It's, for the most part, it's really cool, but I'm gonna probably have to tweak and tune a few of these cards a bit more. Behind the scenes, what I'm currently doing now with the team is going through the existing 100% finished cards and getting them prepped for print, because we honestly want to start printing right as the Kickstarter ends, which makes, unlocks and stuff like that a little more iffy, but we're just flying by the seat of our pants. Today that we announced this, let's see, I'll pop it in here. This Alex Pardee poster. So Alex, said he wanted to contribute something to the Kickstarter, but didn't know if he would have time. And then just randomly messaged me, I got something for you. So we got this amazing poster, which also comes on black. We've decided to just make the mini poster inside the pink box and above, be double-sided. So there's this one, and then the Tarhead one I showed before. So it'll be a double-sided poster. And a few people were like, but what if I want the Tarhead poster and this poster? So if you've got the Not Safe for Work version, there's going to be an exclusive Not Safe for Work poster in it. But on the other side of that poster, there's going to be this poster again. So just in case you wanted an extra copy of it, or you really like one or the other. You'll have your pick of Alex's art, as well as whatever which one you prefer. You'll always have this option though, because this is just badass. So that was something that we included. Yeah, of course, the poster is folded. There's no way around that. I'll tell you one thing that sucks about posters overall. They're really cheap to produce and they're really expensive to ship, because in order to ship them, they have to be shipped in a rolled container. But all the unlocks are all going to come inside the box. So they have to be folded. So the instructions will be folded inside. The Four Souls cards won't be folded. They'll fit. But all the extras and stuff like that, everything needs to fit inside, which, is a little shitty, but it's a mini poster too. So it's not like, what's like 6 by 6 inches or something, maybe 5 by 5, 6 by 6, maybe bigger. I got to double check that one. It seems like 6 by 6, too small. Could be wrong though. So we've unlocked that. I've been working on a bunch of other cards, like alternate art stuff with Jess. So we've got alternate art, which I can't show you on stream. Alternate art for the Not Safe for Work. There's 4 Not Safe for Work alternate cameo heads. Some of them are safe for work. One of them is very not safe for work. Very not safe for work. But so we're working on all that stuff. The super surprise for the Not Safe for Work box is coming soon. We just got the template for it. I think we'll probably be able to announce it in 1 or 2 days and toss it in. It'll be a little Not Safe for Work collector's item. I highly recommend anybody who has pledged anything below the Not Safe for Work tier to bump to the Not Safe for Work tier, because the Not Safe for Work box is awesome. We had a meeting about doing black on black for the Not Safe for Work box. So it'll be matte black and then glossy black worm outlines everywhere. And we're still working on the logo. It'll either be just a glossy black logo, or it'll be a slightly dark gray for the logo, so it'll look like black and white. But I want to try to do black on black as much as possible, because it'll look cool. There might be a little red on it that just says Not Safe for Work, just in case. The gold basement, if that's the 169 version, it comes with the Not Safe for Work version. There is also, for anybody who can afford it, I think there are like 48 more completionist tiers left. That's the most expensive tier. It comes with shitloads of everything, but the 2 most sought after items in that are, the fact that it's signed, and it also comes with a full foil pack of the expansion, which I showed on stream before. So it's a super rare full foil expansion for 4 souls. It also comes with the gold box as well. Those are super limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. Those are the last gold boxes that we have, for anybody wondering. Do you guys have any questions about anything that I've gone over right now? Ask them now. Did every expansion come with a random foil card? Every 4 Souls Plus expansion came with a random foil card. This is not that, though. This is the full foil expansion, which is 100% of the cards are foil. And for those wondering, I don't know how much they're going to sell for now, but I've noticed that the price of the gold boxes have gone up to $150 each on eBay and Amazon. I think that's mostly due to knowing that this is the end of them. There are no more Four Souls gold boxes floating around in the world, which there'll be. So that's it for the Four Souls gold box. So I mean, if you felt so inclined, you probably could sell. You could probably sell the items in that tier and probably make a couple $100 back. The not safe for work version is called Dick Knots, for those of you who don't know. The draw you as a worm tier does include the not safe for work version, but you could always add another one. Would it be okay to use that poster image on a t-shirt? If you're doing some sort of cafe press just for yourself only, I guess you could. I mean, I can't stop you from doing that, but really that's Alex's design, and it'd be nice if he made a profit off of whatever, which is what we did last time with the, he drew a mat for us in a poster. I'm not pushing myself too much. No, I would not say that I'm pushing myself too much. I know my limits, and I'm not getting anywhere close to that. I'm working when I can. I'm mainly helping out Danielle and hanging out with Peach. That takes more effort than any of this sort of stuff. Trying to take it as easy as possible for the most part, but everything's fine. You don't have to worry about me. I can take care of myself. Is there anything that I've learned from this Kickstarter? Yes. I think I figured out a lot of the promotional things. There's a lot of really cool ideas that I got for this that weren't feasible because it wasn't going to be like a $2-3 million Kickstarter. It wasn't going to be an Isaac Kickstarter. But there's a few things that I think I know that I want to do for a Four Souls or a big Isaac themed Kickstarter that I learned from this. Outside of that, the only thing that surprised me was I just didn't think that there would be this kind of support for a new IP. I really thought that I would need to lean pretty hard on the Four Souls aspect of it in order to get this thing to get legs. But we're like I said before a million times, we thought at most we'd make 250, and we are 3 times that, or 3 times that at this point, and it'll go higher than this. I mean, we got a week left, and usually the last 3 or 4 days, things shoot up pretty high. So I don't know. I mean, this thing could hit 800, 850, who knows, higher. And we're just going to keep doing incremental unlocks from here on out, probably at about $100,000, and seeing what people can unlock and see how high it can go. But I learned that I underestimated my ability to make something that people think is neat. It's just so weird that like Tapeworm is it's weird to think that there are people who bought this that don't have any idea who I am, no idea what the Binding of Isaac is. They're just totally new to this whole thing. They don't care who I am. They just thought the game looked really neat, and so they decided to back it. That's super cool. Let me pause on the Q&A, and we can kind of go over this stuff again. I want to do the winners of the contest first, which where is it? I have it here. So these are why is this there? Come here. These are the finalists for last week's challenge 3, and I want to be able to pick a few winners from this one, so we can just do this real quick here. Once again, I've given code names to all the top images on here, and I'm going to pick one. Here's somebody first person to give me a number between 1 and 6. Just give me a number. One's up. Somebody said 4. 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And the first winner of a full foil Binding of Isaac expansion pack is The Mega Worm. The Mega Worm. That would be the giant black worm that is taller than the guy holding it. The Mega Worm. Winner. Mega Worm. I gotta find that guy and tell him. I don't know if he's in here. Are you in here, Mega Worm? Congratulations. Oh, there you are. The Mega Worm. You are a winner. All right. Now, give me a number between 1 and 5. Number between 1 and 5. 3. 1, 2, and 3 is Knitted Pinky. Knitted Pinky. That is the knitted pink worm that the guy is holding and looking at, very surprised. The knitted pink worm that the guy is holding that is large. Those are two. I approve. I approve highly of these wins. You guys went above and beyond. You did some really cool stuff. Congratulations. And I will put these aside and make sure I message you guys after the stream to make sure I get your email address, so you can get your good stuff with your order. Congratulations. So we're still $3,000 away. We're still $3,000 away. So chances are this isn't going to happen during this stream, but I still encourage you all to try to make it happen. I've got 45 minutes roughly before I need to come downstairs and relieve Danielle, who needs a nap. So, what do you guys want to do? The paper mache Petunia was really good too. Obviously, one of the top ones. Does the full foil expansion come with one bonus card? I don't think it does. I think it just comes with just the full foil set. Drink water for 2 hours. Did I get the worms named? The worms are named. I will definitely put the image with the final names of the worms in the instruction manual, so it's more official. Oh yeah, let's talk about that, Takara. Okay, so the I don't know if many of you noticed. I know some of you did. So back in the very beginning of the Kickstarter, there was the most common thing by far, and I'm talking about like shitloads of people on Twitter and on the Kickstarter saying, change the box. It looks like shit. It's too simple. It doesn't look special. I think the base box is better. The worms need to be on it, etc., etc. And one of the first things we did, we're like, okay, let's make this happen. And Takara went and made a very cool, slightly alternate art. I mean, she drew worms to just put over the box to make it look like it was tied up like a gift. And we recently put that up officially so people could see it. And then a bunch of people fucking bitched at me on Twitter. And I was like, what? They're like, bring it back. Bring the old basic box back that was just pink and that's it. No art on it. And I was like, oh, great. Takara's going to love this. And I was like taken aback because I was like, what? I'm like, there is no way that people want that more. So just so you guys know, there was no effort or work put into that. It was literally just a repeated pattern that we already had for the background of the base game. And then they just made it pink and then took the images off. So it was less. It was bold, but so many people were upset about it. We decided to fix it. But the good thing is I did a poll and it's very fucking obvious, but it's like 80% of people prefer the new box. So, in the end, it was just a vocal minority. And we're going to keep the new design because it's close to 80% of people who like Takara's design and want to keep it. And that's an upgrade. So there was that. So we did. I mean, I did want to showcase that a little bit more because it's a really cool box. But I also wanted to talk about how people bitched about it. There's also a few people that just keep. There's one guy in particular who seems like he's a big Four Souls fan. That's all it says in his profile is that he's like a big Four Souls modder or something. And every week he'll bitch at me and say how this Kickstarter is a failure, no one cares, etc., etc. And I don't even know what he's fucking talking about, and I don't know why he keeps talking to me about it. But that's the joy of this. So you guys want to shoot the shit for oh, my back. Shoot the shit for 40 minutes. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people assume that since the Four Souls Kickstarter was so big that whatever else I make will be as big, and that's just like, come on, that's simply not a reality. Like, you take your most successful thing and you kind of put it out there, and you never expect anything you make after your biggest successful thing to be anywhere close. And like I said, 250 tops for Tapeworm. I push it as much as I can, but that's all I thought that I would get, and we got 3 times that. I'm like, you have no idea how happy I am with this. This is astounding, and everybody involved is also very happy about this. You know, this kind of success means opening up possibilities for retail. It means a lot of people playing the game. It means, you know, more of a future for Tapeworm for sure. So yeah. What email do we send the pictures of you that we've drawn? If you need to send an email, send it to edmund@edmundm.com, but I'd prefer if you tweeted it at me if possible. But yeah. Did I see the announcement of Magic the Gathering Double Masters? I actually got, I woke up to a text from George saying they announced Double Masters, which is, I guess, a set that he had play tested a bit when he was working at Wizards, and he says it's really cool. So I'm excited about it. I hope that I'll be able to play it with people. Probably not, though. Yeah. All expectations, like, I thought 750, like Javon's like 750 is going to be the ultimate unlock. Like, that's going to be where we're going to push towards. And it's like, how is that going to fucking happen? Like, there's no way that's going to happen. And we're there. And we got a week left. So we're going to have to make shit up as we go for sure. Just keep packing this game full of stuff. How much work do you do on probability in your game design, or do you just tweak as you go? How much do you sometimes I feel like I'm reading things very wrong, and I do. How much work do I put into my game design, or do I tweak as I go? It's all game design is both. You can have the greatest idea in the world, but it's about how you execute it that actually matters. So I put a lot of work into my initial game design idea, and then I put more work into tweaking it as I go. That's kind of how it works. Just because I'm curious, why does the retail tier come with the base game and not the pink box? I'm not too sure. That's just something that Javon did in the past as well. I think it's to not put a bunch of super limited edition stuff out there and make that more sought after for fans, and that's what would realistically, if a retail box comes out, it would be the base game, and it wouldn't have any extras. So it's more to make retail more consistent. Have I played Hollow Knight? I've played a little bit of Hollow Knight. I wasn't feeling it for whatever reason, but everybody that I work with and everybody says it's amazing and I should keep working on it. So maybe I will one day, but it didn't grab me right away. Is the Not Safe for Work version only exclusive for the Kickstarter? I've been told that it's not. I assume that we will sell the Not Safe for Work version without the Kickstarter extras on our store eventually, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I've just been told that it's not Kickstarter. The whole thing is not Kickstarter exclusive. I doubt many other places would sell it though. Is there any secret add-ons that you have yet to reveal? There's one big secret add-on. It's pretty goofy, but it's slightly expensive on our end, but it's good for, it's an expensive joke that will kind of become a sought after scarce item. A very rare Edmund McMillan swag piece. I don't know what you want to call it, but it'll be in the Not Safe for Work version. And, we're going to try to add more as we can. Is there still a chance to get the green champion bloat? I don't believe there is. I think those of you who signed up for the mailing list before the Kickstarter started will be getting sent a few extras if you signed up for the mailing list. And one of those was that the green champion bloat? No, that was the cute one. The green champion bloat was older. That one's way gone. So no. What happened to the contest from your previously pinned tweet? Was it last week's contest? We did the winners to the previous contests. There's going to be, there's going to be a white Four Souls card for sure. I wanted to show it to you tonight, but we're still 3,000 away from our goal. So I will show it to you tomorrow when we hit the goal. But yeah, white proglotted for sure. I have it designed. It's actually right here behind a little tab that I can turn on or off, but we're not there. So can't spoil it. How do I do RNG? I do structured RNG. I do controlled random generation for the most part. So what I like to have control over is room generation. What's like the structure of the room. I don't like doing full random. Full random's usually not good, not fun. I like to do structured random. So I like to have my hand in the level designs that are then randomly pieced together. And I like to have item pools, stuff like that. So stuff to structure random aspects. Have you ever played Move or Die? No. Are we going to see any new playmat with the new Four Souls expansion with everything being added? I haven't thought about a playmat yet, but I assume so. Did I play Diablo 3? I played it right when it came out and I beat it, and it was one of the most disappointing games that I've ever played. It felt like I wasn't playing a game, which kind of sucks. I hear they improved it, but I don't feel much need to go and jump back into that. Where's that? Do you have any favorite official soundtrack for a game, I'm assuming? Stuff that's not mine. I really liked the Katamari soundtrack. I really liked the Hotline Miami soundtrack a lot. Those are the only two that really kind of stand out to me. Of mine, my favorite soundtrack is definitely the Mugenics soundtrack, which you guys haven't really heard much of yet. And The End Is Nigh, I really like a lot too. I don't know. It's hard to choose. How much shipping costs to Europe? Not sure, but I know we have friendly shipping in Europe. So it means you don't have to pay like taxes and extra dues or whatever else. But I think it gives you the information when you back. I think it should say something. I should do Pogs. Should bring back Pogs. Okay. Yep, we're still 3,000. We're still 3,000 away. Sorry about it, guys. You got to wait till tomorrow. Is Isaac making an appearance in Tapeworm at all? Yeah. I showed that. So you guys, one of the first things you guys unlocked for social goals was alternate heads for the worms, and one of them is Isaac's head. So Isaac will be in the game. Is there any genre of video game that you hate or just not like? I'm usually okay. I don't like story-driven games where story is the main reason why you want to make progress. So like, I tried to play Red Dead Redemption and I hated it. I tried to play what's that one? The Witcher 3 because I actually liked the show, and everybody kept saying it was great, and I hated it. Like, I want games to feel gamey and not like a weird semi-interactive experience that I don't want it to appear like I have control and I don't. It just feels like I hate those kind of games. Like the kind of games I like are games that are arcadey in some aspect, like challenge me, and the appeal of the game is tied to its gameplay and not its story. I like story in games to feel like they're part of gameplay, like they're based on your actions and stuff like that. That said, I really liked Fallout, and I guess that's kind of a story-driven game. But you can make up for some things with me with humor and, adding random aspects or adding branching stories and making things like appear more dynamic than they actually are. But I like my games to be as dynamic as possible. So the games that I would hate would be the games that didn't feel that way. Made me feel like I didn't actually have that much control over anything and that I was just riding rails. I don't like those. Do you like the room design for The Witness? Oh, I thought you were talking about the fucking game, The Witness. Do you like the room design for The Witness? The extra large room. We're still working on that aspect, I think, because there's some issues with the zooming. Did you play Breath of the Wild? Yeah, I really like Breath of the Wild. Once again, it's like that's an example of a game that feels very open to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it, and the things that I have to do within the game feel like they don't have much structure to them, and I can approach them in any way I'd like to approach them. So I did like that. I also like Zelda games, and I don't know. Yeah, I didn't beat it though. Okay. What beer do I prefer? I don't drink. I never liked alcohol, and I've never been into drinking or had any urge to drink. I just don't like the way it tastes. Not really anybody I associate with drinks, so I don't drink. Someone said, so Zelda's definitely a no-go. No, like Zelda's a different story because the game, it's still 100% gameplay oriented. It's still like a skill-based system that doesn't feel like ham-fisted and whatever. And one of the reasons why like when I played Grand Theft Auto, I only played it for the random running from the cops and exploration side of things, and I never played through the story because I hated the controls and I hated how everything felt like I was doing the same rudimentary thing over and over and over again. It just doesn't do it for me. But Zelda, on the other hand, feels like I'm solving puzzles. It feels like I'm trying to figure things out, even though you're on the rails for sure. But it's at least on the rails, but making me solve things. Like I really like The Witness. I really like Baba Is You gives me room to room. But that feels like such a interesting and challenging experience. I don't know. Maybe I'm not using the right words when I'm describing the things that I don't like, but I'll just lean into the fact that I don't like when story is the number one aspect of the game and you're just doing random shit in order to try to get more of the story, because I don't think I've ever been moved or interested in any story in any video game I've ever played in my life, to the point of it wanting to like continue playing because I'm wondering what's going to happen or where this is going to go. I'm probably in the minority about that, but I just, man, can't get down with that. I want to be the story. I want my actions either to be the story, or I want the illusion that I'm doing things that are challenging in order to make the story progress, that make me feel smart, or I don't know what. Like I like versus games. I did not play Destiny. Which of your games do you play the most, and why do you like it? I don't really play any game more than any other game, but I usually will, after like the year anniversary of a game, I'll play it again, and then the next anniversary will come out and I'll play through it again to see if I've gotten better as a designer, and try to look at things and see what I would have fixed or whatever else. But the game that I'm most proud of and really enjoyed playing again recently was The End Is Nigh. I really think that it's my best designed game. What food do I hate that everyone else seems to love? I hate walnuts. I fucking can't stand walnuts. I talked about this online, and someone brought up the fact that I may be allergic to walnuts, and that's totally a possibility. But to me, walnuts taste very acidic in a very specific way. It's hard to like. Makes my tongue feel weird. All I can like. The only way to describe it is like earwax or deodorant. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever like licked a deodorant when you're younger, but I've definitely bit into one. They have this like numbing, acidic, weird, yucky taste on my tongue. And then they have this consistency to them where they're not crunchy they're like a soft crunchy, and I do not like how they feel in my teeth, and I fucking can't stand it. And people put them in like cookies and stuff, and it's like, why have you done this? I'm totally okay with the majority of other nuts, but man, walnuts, pecans are pretty gross, but walnuts are by far the worst. I hate it. Let's see. Any plans for new plushies? Isaac, Tapeworm, Bumbo, blah, blah, blah. No plans currently. We've sold out of basically all of our other plush stuff. We're down to the just tiny amounts of things. I wouldn't doubt that we'll eventually reprint some stuff. Like the initial Isaac was a pretty big success, so we might do that again. But yeah, I would love to do some more for sure. Is there going to be a dad boss fight where we're fighting the air for 2 minutes? One of the most common questions in about any kind of expansion or sequel or any DLC, people will say, "Are we going to fight God? Are we going to fight Jesus? Are we going to fight Isaac's dad?" The answer is and will always be no. Doesn't make sense. It just doesn't work with anything that I'm thinking. Any plan on releasing the full Hollow base cards? Like the base game, but full Hollow? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of doing that. Like, in all honesty, like, what I would like to do in the future, and the way that I foresee Hollows being used better, is if we released booster packs of starting items, like basically stuff that's not inside decks. So not treasure cards, not monster cards, like starting items, character starting items, the main souls, stuff like that. Stuff that's like outside of the shuffle zone. And then reprinting all those, maybe with alternate art or something, making them foil and putting them in randomly in booster packs. I think that would be neat. But I don't know if that's going to happen, so don't quote me on it. Where did I go? Never played Undertale. I played FTL. I wasn't a huge fan of FTL either. I totally get and understand why all these games are good. and I get why people like them, but for whatever reason, I'm pretty like picky, especially on when I invest a lot of time into. If I'm playing a game that I'm going to play a lot and I'm going to play for hours, ideally that game should be a multiplayer game that has some co-op aspect of it, like Overwatch or even Pokemon Go. Those are the two games that I invested the most time in the past couple of years. Stuff that I can play with my friends, my wife. I want that when it comes to big investments. Did I know that there's a tapeworm game from the Spectravision on the Atari 2600? Does it do something copyright-wise? Copyright doesn't usually go through game to movie to... There's a lot of like games that have titles of movies or titles of albums, or otherwise it doesn't... I don't think it's an issue. And I also thought that could have been a joke because I don't think anybody's around from then that is doing anything. Are you the type of person that gets the soap taste when you eat cilantro? Takara asks. No, I'm not that person. I like cilantro just fine. Do you ever find yourself seeking out other procedurally generated games? I'm always interested in the new ones that come out, but it's mostly because I want to see what they did right, what they did wrong, etc. Just from a that kind of standpoint. Especially if it's an Isaac-like, I usually want to see like, wait, did they improve upon anything that I wasn't thinking? Stuff like that. Is the full foil expansion available in the next Four Souls Kickstarter? If we have any left over, they'll probably be in a similar tier, about a $450 tier, to just make sure that we can. I want to mostly utilize the ones that we have left for contests to make them really sought after, and then also just put them in very high tiers. Megenics, yeah, will be my next major focus for sure. Okay. What's your opinion on remasters or remakes? Any plans on releasing something? Any plans on maybe re-releasing something? I like remasters and remakes a lot, actually, especially for new systems. I played through Katamari again because it was remade, I think, on Switch. I really like doing that. I would kill for a remake of... I would love to play through Resident Evil 4 again. I really liked that. That had some really fun moments. Felt very dynamic. Let's see. I'd really like to play through Beautiful Joe again. I really love that one too. Maybe Eternal Darkness, some like older stuff that I enjoyed back in the early 2000s. I'd be interested in playing through Manhunt as well, because that's one I kind of enjoyed back in the day more than other Rockstar games, and I would kind of like to try it out again. So yeah, I'm down with remakes and remasters. I don't think my stuff's old enough to re-release it. I think kind of like the rule is at least 20 years before you want to do anything like that. But yeah, I'm sure Isaac would be the one to remake again. Where the fuck did I just go? Oh, there it was. Are you thinking of making a Four Souls expansion pack for the new Binding of Isaac expansion when it's out? So the plan after Repentance is out is I would like to do another Kickstarter. And this would be a few months after, like 2, 3, 4 months after. I'd like to do another Kickstarter with a giant expansion, like at least close to 300 cards. And a lot of those cards would be tied to Repentance. And I want to do a bunch of other stuff too. A lot of the stuff you guys suggested, like coloring books and stuff like that. All Isaac themed craziness. How much of repentance do you think people will change back to its roots? How much repentance do you think? What does that mean? How much of repentance do you think people will change back to its roots? Like, how much do I think repentance will change it back to its roots? Like, go back to its roots? I feel like both me and Vin want the game to be more challenging in fair ways, and want there to be less common super combos that just make you go infinite. And that is kind of a back to basics throwback to the original Isaac. So in that respect, I think a good amount of the gameplay will feel a little old school. But it probably, only some people will really notice it though. Who thought of making stoned fatties in Isaac move at the speed of light and giving them annoying lion growling literally every single second is a good idea? At least please change the sound. I didn't know. It never was an issue with me. Maybe it's just because you're playing with music off or something. Just lower the volume. Sure. I wouldn't doubt that if that's something that is a nitpicky thing, that I wouldn't doubt that Vin's already tweaked it. Does the random Eden hairstyle booster pack fit your vision of what foil cards would look like in the future? Yes. Yeah, that makes sense too. We definitely probably do a bunch of different Eden hairstyles exclusively for the booster packs. Are you still in contact with any of the people who made the crossover characters in Super Meat Boy? Yes. I've known Matt for forever. I'm not in contact with Anna anymore. I would say the majority, except for maybe Anna, I still talk to. Don't know what Blazing Beaks is. What's your favorite aspect from the Anti-Birth mod? The detail. The visual detail and just the attention to detail in every aspect of all of its new features is it reminds me of the Flash days where a lot of work was spent on the little fine details and not broad strokes. Do you consider Chad yours, or is it owned by Tommy now? I'm pretty sure anything that was in Super Meat Boy is owned by Team Meat now, and I'm not a part of it. So even though, and I know there's confusion because of the cameos and stuff that are in Isaac now, but like if I were to remake Isaac, then those things they wouldn't be in those nods, like the Bandage Girl and Meat Cubes and Super Meat Boy and Chad and whatever else wouldn't be there. What do you think makes a successful game character? What things do you consider when making a new character? Well, it's going to be different for me than everybody else because I'm a weirdo and I like weird stuff. I think a successful game character is one that stands out from the crowd, doesn't look or play like anything else, especially in the mainstream that people have seen. I tend to lean towards characters that have major weaknesses, major flaws that make them more relatable in some way, I guess. Like all the characters I had that are very exposed and fragile. So Meat Boy is a kid without skin. Isaac's literally a naked crying child who, fights with his sadness. Ash is just a cancerous skull that flops around everywhere. Gish is just a blob, mostly helpless. I like making helpless characters that have triumph over the evil, but I don't think not everybody's going to be able to work with that, make that enjoyable. I don't think, but that's what I usually do. Weird, broken characters. how are you involved personally in the development of Repentance? Do most of the ideas go through you, or is it mostly other people working on it? All the ideas go through me, but the majority of the ideas are always on the money. Vin has a great mind for that sort of stuff. Almost everything Sagittarius draws is perfect. Like it's, I've people have asked like, what's going to change? Like there are things that will change from the Anti-Birth mod for sure. Those changes are minor. I really thought that the majority of stuff that they did was super great. And I have no... Yeah, but as far as my development design-wise, I took and tweaked what was there and being ported over. And then I've been working with the team just on making a bunch of new items and a bunch of new things that I can't talk about. You'll know. You'll see it. But there's a lot of new stuff. Okay. Would you consider making a Kickstarter for Mugenics? I'm sure a lot of people would be on board with that. Okay, so number one, I would never kickstart a video game, ever. I don't even think it's a good idea for anybody else to do. I would only kickstart, and the only reason why I'm kickstarting this, I'm kickstarting to gauge interest and help print. When you do a big sale like this, like a fundraiser type sale, it keeps the cost down and lets everybody buy things basically at cost from us, and lets us put a bunch of cool extras and whatever else inside. The campaign's really fun. I like the social interaction. I like making stuff up on the fly. It's exciting. I would never, ever, ever do that for something that was in development still. Like the game Tapeworm is done. It was done and tested before it came out. Same thing with Four Souls. It was done and tested. We just needed to finish paying and creating art for it, paying artists, paying people who contributed to it, and then actually doing production. So for me, I would only use Kickstarter for production aspects to make sure, hey, this is how many copies we're going to be making. This is how much money we have allotted to doing it. And we're going to have people ship and yada, yada, yada. When it comes to a video game design, I've seen so many people get trapped in hell because they have, when you come up with a video game, like imagine this, imagine I kickstarted Mugenics when I came up with the idea. If I kickstarted the game when I came up with the idea, there would be no game. You know, I worked on that game for 9 months when I worked at Team Meat, and it got pretty far. I would say it got almost a third of the way through development, and then it dead ended and it stopped, and no, it wasn't going to happen. Now imagine if I had kickstarted that and it made millions of dollars. What the fuck would I do? And a lot of people are kind of in this situation because when you're working on something that takes years to make, there are so many things that can go wrong. And there are so many people with high expectations that are going to be really disappointed. They also feel like they have some say in everything that goes into it. And I just never want to be in a situation where I have to kind of answer to a group of people about my game design choices, and literally have to because they paid for it. So I would never do anything like that. I will only utilize Kickstarter for the exact purposes that I've been using it for, which is gauging interest, production, fundraising, promotion, and just generally having fun and hanging out and making something cool. Okay. What's a game series that you used to love but hasn't had a new game in ages? Well, I really loved the first Tomb Raider, maybe the second Tomb Raider, and then it just got worse and worse as it went. I really loved the original Tony Hawk 1 and 2, which is cool that they're remaking those. I loved those a lot. Oh, wait, FaceTime from Danielle. Nope, must have been Peach because they hung up. Okay, I've got 5 minutes and I'm going to get off of here. All right, I'm scrolling to the bottom. Hopefully Repentance will be out by the time Tapeworm ships in October. That'd be great. When can we expect the next big update about Repentance? I would wait for a little while after the tapeworm dust. The dust settles on tapeworm before I kind of jump back into that. Will the game's difficulty increase with the expansion? Yes. All the alternate paths are going to be harder, for sure. What do you feel are the pros and cons of allowing mods into your game? Has there been times that you regretted it? I think it's just great overall. The only negative aspect is that I hate is that so many aspects of Isaac are easily expandable. So there's a lot of no-brainer holes in like items and enemies and bosses that it's really easy to suggest something that was already written on paper that I had designed for. And I've many times released items, characters, and whatever else that all that Peach keeps calling me. Oh, I hear her. So I don't want people to assume I'm ripping them off. That's the only kind of shitty thing that happens. What, PG? What do you need me for? I'm almost done. I'll be down in a sec. Will I ever go back to Serious P-Shy? I could see myself going back to that world, but not in a game. If I ever went back to it, I could see myself going back to it as like in a comic. Will we still see some version of Ouroboros? I know you said it kind of turned into The End Is Nigh, but the gameplay is so different and great. It's a possibility. I think we got 1/4 of the way through development in Ouroboros, and it was making everyone who played it motion sick, and we could not fix that. So that was one of the reasons why we really moved away from it. If we can fix that, I'm sure we can mess with it. But there are so many more interesting ideas that we want to work on, and we got to finish. Uh-oh.
Please enter your password, then press pound.
Oh my god. One sec.
Please enter your password.
All right, I gotta go. She's hacking. She's hacking everything. I don't know. She's on her little like tablet, but it also is connected to a phone, and she seems to be trying to type in something somewhere. All right, so make sure you guys pledge. We're still. She's in here. You want to say hi? Keep pledging. Tell people to keep pledging.
Keep pledging. Give me all your money.
I need all your money now. Give it to me.
Give me all your money now. I need it. Buy more worms.
Let's get this to 1 million.
Let's get this to 1 million.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, guys. Congratulations to the winners. All that good stuff.
Yeah, because I get it to you because I said call mobile, call somebody, and I called Odo, and then because I was going to call you, and then it goes call somebody, pick up. So I just pushed it in now.
I saw it. I saw you threw it underneath the door. Was it scary?
Yeah, I saw somebody was going to call me, and so I won because Mama said no calls. So I just wanted to call you, so I couldn't wake up anybody. But then it said, call someone.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out, okay? Say bye to everybody.
Bye. It said,
Come back over here.
call one person. I kept, and then, bye.
Bye, everybody.